Risings, people, risings. How everybody doing out there this Thursday? Let's get to it real quick. Um, have anybody? I recently just started watching the 2009 V series, right? And it's really interesting, right? Very interesting. Mind you, that show came out in 2009, 2010, right? And man, one of the things that I noticed, right, that is similar to the events that are happening now, okay? So, for instance, in this V series, right, now check this out. I'm going to be breaking down part of the show and using it as what also is what's going on right now in real time. So I'm gonna start off by 2021. I mean 2020, right? 2020. Of course, that was the what time that was, right? When everybody was sick and you had to get that. Well, the funny thing that happened also in that series, right? Where they rushed to get humanity a shot. Now that shot, right? That shot that they gave humanity on the show, on the V series on the show, right? That shot that they gave them on the show, it was to make the humans be able to breed, right? So they could be able to use the human's body for reproduction, right? Because in the current state that it was in, if they was to inbred with the humans, the baby most likely would, while coming out, would kill the mom, right? Um, but they wanted to make it a little bit easier, so they gave them a shot. And in this shot was to make it easier. Now, one of the things that I found very interesting is also, right, scientists went missing, right? Scientists that knew or had some information, right, on the V's, or on some type of technology that could help either expose the V's or just, you know, the scientists went missing. Isn't it ironic that before we get the disclosure movie, right? We get scientists missing, right? 12 scientists missing. Almost a scientist, it was 12 scientists. That's 12 months of the year. So that's one missing every damn near whole year, damn near one missing every month for a whole year, right? So you get missing scientists, you get a shot, right? You get I have not finished the show yet. So you get the shot, you get the scientists, you get the technology, you get the news. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. A part of me feels like disclosure is going to take to be more kind of like on the V series, right? Couple of interesting um, things I seen within disclosure. Y'all seen the sound, right? Just the sound. Now, um, I ain't I ain't seen it, but remember, there's a sound that's going on. Well, that's also in. in the V, there's something happening where that sound is, you know what that sound is. Okay? There's a lot of interesting things, but I'm not gonna lie to you. It made me a little bit mad, right? When watching this. Now I know it's a show, but mad in the sense of damn. That's why in my last couple of posts, the one that I had, I think last week, I was saying if they was to disclose, right, some extraterrestrial, right, and even you can look at that, right, we can look at that and say they could be talking about other lands, right? They could really be talking about other lands as well, not just people like to think, well, aliens or whatever, but you could be talking about other lands that we've just within the last 4 or 5 years have been hearing about, right? So, in fact, if you haven't had a chance, go read this book right here, right? Go read it. Go read it. It's very interesting. Read it, right? And he has a lot of other books as well. But let's get back to this. So we're talking about these visitors, right, in the show. Now, what's so funny is, right, you see this, right? You see this. Now, everybody knows, right? If you haven't known, right? This is the most common thing that you're going to see in pictures from the last 100 years, right? Is everybody doing this. But in reality, right, if you think about it, and what is this saying? Look at what this is saying when you do this, right? When you do this, what is this saying? It has it right here, right? Well, we all know the correct way is this, right? But yet they have got us to do this. Well, victory, visitors, however you want to look at it, right? However you want to even look at it. Well, we're separate. Okay, we're separate. And this is what we have to get. This is the point that we want to be at, where we're not separate. And to keep it 100 with you, as we see on this show, everybody gets used, okay? Now I'm gonna start by that. Everybody gets used, okay? The public gets used based off of the information, okay? Because they don't release all the information, or they're going to release what they think is beneficial for them and that we're going to receive. Yet sometimes what they give us, right, in form of laws, okay, and a lot of other things, what the government will sit up here and give us is bullshit. They will never give us the truth, okay? They won't give us the truth because the truth costs too much. The it's easy for humanity to be caught up in bliss, right? I was telling my partner, right? I was telling him that I was like, it's so crazy, right? It's so crazy how at the end of the day, they will spend money, millions of dollars on marketing. Like, think about this right now. These 12 scientists, right, that have went missing is only going to fuel the movie Disclosure. Okay? And any more scientists that, you know what I'm saying, get found, that becomes missing or pass away or whatever, it's only going to fuel that for people to watch that movie. Okay? Now, as we sit up here, as I was watching this series, and it's funny because this series is 2009 and 2010, and right now, right, it seems like we're in that time. Okay, it seems like we're in that time. Now they just released a new trailer of Disclosure, right? And as we get closer to this movie, right? This rollout that's about to sit up there and happen and it started. Okay, my friends, it started. It has already started. This rollout has already started. Okay? And so they're going to keep it under wraps until it's time. They're going to want they for some reason, right? And some reason this movie is slated to come out next month. And it's a reason, right? It's a reason. It's a reason why. Okay, it's a reason why. It's a reason why. On this show, right? On this show, everybody gets manipulated. I ain't gonna even front. It was called. Look, I'm gonna give you a little what you call it real quick. A scene where they were talking about they went to the Vatican. So the V's go to the Vatican, right? And when she's talking to the priest, one is the V's mom, right? One of the V's mom. Her name is Anna, right? She's the powerful V. She actually enslaved her mom, right? She enslaved her mom. Now, when she enslaved her mom had a V that was working in the Vatican. Okay? And he was the only one that was working in the Vatican. And what they were trying to understand was the soul. Okay? The V's don't understand how the soul works. And it was funny because the priest told her, the priest was like, because she doesn't, Anna, the right now the V that's in fucking charge, she of course doesn't have a soul, but as they're in this, they call it the skin, right? This skin, some V's start to feel certain things, right? They start to feel the emotion. And that emotion, right, is what sit up here and makes us us, right? Think about this. Even you've heard me say this before. For every emotion, there's a movie and a song. For every emotion, there's a movie and a song. Okay? So, if you're able to manipulate people's emotions, right? And that when she was in the Vatican talking, the priest actually told her, he said, the soul is what separates us from being animals, right? Now, the visitors are giant lizards, okay? And it's interesting, right? It's interesting because then you start to see they're fighting over the soul. They're fighting over the soul. not only do they want to breed with us, they want to take away the soul. Why is that important? Because if you take away the soul, then you just become a worker. You don't ask questions. The people in the V series that they cannot stand is people that are unpredictable. If you're predictable, then it's easy for them, the visitors, to sit up here and to, you know what I'm saying, manipulate you. They want you to be predictable. Your unpredictability, they can't, you know what I'm saying? You're unpredictable. So they don't know which way you're going to go. All right? As we roll into this summer of 2026, right? As we roll into this fucking summer of 2026, it's going to be a lot of things that we sit up here and see. Some maybe we agree with, some we don't. How far is these files? How far does these files that they have that they're releasing, right? How far does it go? And is anybody willing to sit up there and actually take this as face value? Are you taking this as face value? Are you waiting to see what other files and what else is coming, right? Because this is just what do you say? A small step for man and a giant step for mankind. This is what it seems like this information is right now. Okay. Now, I'm all for disclosing information. I get it. But you know why? It's a fine line between disclosing information, because you see even in the Epstein files, right? Some of the stuff you don't really see. You get the black marker, right? You get the black marker. I know I'm everywhere on here, but I suggest, right? I suggest not only you doing your own research, but go look at go look at it. Go back and look at the V series, okay? And see what they have in store. See what they have in store. Now, of course, it's a movie, right? It's a sitcom. How much more information can we really get off of a show, right? Go watch it. I suggest go watch it. I'm gonna do a whole nother breakdown when I get finished with the series, right? But I'm watching right now. I'm watching really not enough. Well, it is a lot of people talking about it, but it's still, everything is back to normal, back to normal, back to normal. So I believe if it was some real big shit, I don't really think people really gonna give a fuck to keep it. If you want me to keep it all the way a hundred with you, I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? I don't think so. But we're getting closer and closer to this movie. Scientists missing, files released. Yeah. What else could happen? What could happen in this month, right? This month that we're about to get this movie. What else can happen? You know, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. But look, I'm gonna do another video later. But yeah, it's go watch that V series, the 2009, and they got one from 1985. Okay, now I'm gonna watch that one too. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because the V series was only two. It was only 2 seasons, right? 2 seasons. 2 seasons. Interesting. I don't know why they took it off. I'm gonna have to do some research about that. But 2 seasons, 2 seasons, and they in those 2 seasons, they put a lot. They put a lot in there. They put a lot in there. But I'm out. Peace.